Get 15% off a set of BrakeBest Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is James Mercer from The Shins.
This is Shirley Manson.
This is Lo Tolhurst, co-founder of The Cure.
This is Huey Lewis giving you the story behind the song.
The Story Behind the Song is back with an exciting second season. We peel back the layers on music's most iconic hits with legendary artists like The Killers, Heart, the B-52s, Violent Femmes, Jewel, Huey Lewis, Modern English, and more. To keep the music flowing, we'll be sprinkling in classic episodes from our archives between each new one. So check out The Story Behind the Song wherever you get your podcast.
Hello and welcome to this month's bonus episode.
Oh, wow.
Aaron, tell the people what they're in store for.
All right. So I don't know if you're aware of this, everybody out there, but there's this little movie called This Is New Tone, and it is a documentary film about the New Tone tour, Bad Time Records tour. The headlining bands were Catbite, We Are the Union, and Kill Lincoln, and then a lot of the other bands on the label, like Omnigone, for instance, Bad Operation, Jay Navarro and the Traders, Joystick. Who else was opening acts on this tour?
It was Joystick, Jay Navarro and the Traders, Omnigone. Was there anyone else? Bad Operation.
Yeah, I mean, there was other bands, like I think Eichlers did like one show, right?
Eichlers did one. Yeah. Well, Eichlers played the 5-year anniversary show, I think.
Oh, okay. So, anyways,
that was kind of looped in with it. Like, so it was the Bad Time Records tour, but then there was also the 5-year anniversary show at Gilman. Jared played that. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, this film, Mike Szynski, the owner and operator of Bad Time Records, made this film. It's kind of a way to show what Bad Time Records as a label has sort of been able to accomplish, and sort of what the newer ska bands have been able to do in terms of creating a new scene that isn't necessarily dependent on the older scene the way like a lot of the bands have been for a while.
Yeah. And I think that the thing that it was really trying to capture was the momentum and the excitement around that era of the label.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like, now, and I would say this about this podcast even too, that like, every time a new band would get announced, there was a lot of buzz around it. And even with this podcast, I feel like when we would initially get like larger guests, there would be a lot more buzz around it. But now that the label's a little bit more established, now that we're a little bit more established, I don't really feel like we get that. Like we get the same caliber of guests, but I don't see people like really losing their minds about it.
No, but I mean, if you look at the metrics though, like we have and I don't know if this is the same for Bad Time, but we have a very consistent, loyal listenership, and it does trend up. It's been trending up. Like this year has been the best year we've done, but not by some huge astronomical number, right? It's just kind of, we're just slowly going up.
Yeah. An incremental build. And I would say that the same trajectory is true of Bad Time.
And I think that's what's required for creating anything to be stable.
Yes. If you go up too fast, what's going to happen? You're going to come back down just as fast.
Mm-hmm. So this documentary really shows the moment when when the momentum was going up, and people outside of ska were interested in talking about it. There's a lot of people in the documentary that are at these shows that have never been to a ska show in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think whatever it is, however they heard about it, they took an interest in it, and they wanted to see this whole Bad Time Records thing. They wanted to see these bands maybe they heard about Catbite or We Are the Union from something, and they're just like, I want to see what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many of those people stayed interested, and I wonder how many of them are like, okay, that's cool, but not for me. I mean, I imagine a decent amount of them are still on board with it because, like we were just saying, it seems like incremental growth.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that. So what we have here today is one of the premieres was at 924 Gilman Street, which also features heavily in the movie. And I hosted this premiere. And what that really entailed was welcoming the audience. Then the movie played. Then we did a little fun Q&A where I handed out prizes. And no, that was, excuse me, not a Q&A, a trivia portion.
Trivia.
Then a Q&A that included Jorge Lucero, who helped with mail order at Bad Time Records, Ike Eichlers, and you, Aaron Carnes.
Yeah.
And we fielded questions from the audience.
Yeah. So we kind of did, and that was fun. It was a lot of fun, and we recorded it. And so now we're going to share it with you. But you know what? We're only going to share it with our Patreon subscribers.
That's right. So this little bit that you heard at the beginning, this part you get to hear on the regular feed.
Yeah.
But to hear the rest of this episode, you're going to need to head behind the curtain.
Yeah. And you know what? Not a lot of money. Not really.
For what you get here, for what we're giving you, peanuts.
I mean,
nothing.
you know how much our debt is, our U.S. government debt is? Now think about, I don't know the exact number, but you think about $5 a month for this Patreon and you compare it to that number, nothing.
Yep.
It's like almost a negative number.
Yep. You're almost making money subscribing to this Patreon.
Have you ever had a job in sales? I feel like I've never had a job in sales, but you and I together, when our product is selling this, when our product is selling this Patreon, we become just
we're here for the hard sell. Listen, it's a little bit late. We're a little bit loopy.
Yeah.
But what we do know is that this Q&A, good time. It was a lot of fun. If you are a Patreon subscriber and you were here for this Q&A, please enjoy this little blast back to a couple months ago when we did this. It was really nice spending time sharing space with you all. It was fun watching this movie in a space where part of the movie took place in. And I don't know, like every time I go back to Gilman for something, I feel lucky that space exists. And I feel lucky that I get to participate in it.
And you know what else Gilman is? Gilman is also the place where the cover for my first edition of In Defense of Ska was shot at.
Yeah, that graffiti's still on the wall.
Part of it is.
Mostly.
The word ska.
Mostly.
The word ska is there.
Well, the important part.
Very important moment in Gilman history.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough of us. Let's go to the main episode.
5, 4, 3, 2. All right, that's all we have for this week. You want to hear the rest of this Q&A that we recorded at 924 Gilman at the This Is New Tone premiere? Well, head over to our Patreon. Aaron's on his way to Supernova this week. If you see him there, say hi. I won't be there. So, you're going to say hi to Aaron instead. And while you're there, pick up an In Defense of Ska t-shirt or an In Defense of Ska bandana. Ska now, more than ever. Bye-bye.